The Halloween reboot timeline has now officially ended with its recent entry Halloween Ends, and it made sure to treat us with many little teases to some of the other films in the iconic Halloween franchise, among other classic horror titles as well. If you're interested in knowing all of these hidden secrets strewn throughout the movie, you've come to the right place. Here are all the Easter eggs and references from Halloween Ends, starting off with a familiar tune. The film starts off in 2019, a year after the events of the previous two entries, Halloween and Halloween Kills. We see Corey Cunningham arrive at the Allian's household to babysit their young son, Jeremy. While Mrs. Allen tells Corey what to do, Mr. Allen can be seen playing a pretty specific tune on his piano. The piece he's playing isn't just a nod to all the comic villains in film history, but also a hint at what Corey would end up becoming years later. This piece is called Toccata and Fugue in D minor by Sebastian Bach, and has historically been used in films in order to represent villainy in classics such as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and The Phantom of the Opera. Next up is The Thing. You can celebrate Halloween without watching some spooky movies, and that's exactly what Laurie did with Tommy and Lindsay back in 1978, just as Corey did now during the opening moments of the film. However, the real reference lies in the movies they're watching. The film is called The Thing from Another World, which is based on a novel from 1978 called Who Goes There by John W. Campbell. That novel would later also get adapted by John Carpenter in 1982 titled The Thing. So this scene is pretty much both a nod to John Carpenter and the first Halloween movie as well. The third entry on our list is Oscar's mom. In Halloween Kills, we get to meet Allison's boyfriend and a few of their friends, one of them being Oscar, who confesses his feelings to Allison while they walk back home from the messy Halloween party. Oscar would get killed just minutes later by Michael Myers, and his mother finds his body at the hospital during the riots that took place there. Unfortunately, she never recovered from that loss, and we find out at the beginning of Halloween Ends that she hanged herself in a costume similar to the one Oscar was wearing when he got killed. Definitely one of the darker references in the film. Moving on, there are Laurie's newspaper clippings. Skipping forward to 2022, Laurie can be seen working on her memoir. In her studio, we see a wall that has been covered with newspaper clippings from all of Myers' past crimes, starting in 1978 with the murder of Annie Brackett, the daughter of Sheriff Brackett and Laurie's best friend. The next clipping is from 1963, reading 6-year-old kills teen sister in Halloween tragedy, along with some of the obituaries from Laurie's friend Linda as well as her boyfriend Bob. Another clipping reports the demolition of the Myers house, and another one from 2018 reads Myers manhunt underway, showing that he's still alive and kicking. Considering the fact that some people criticize the reboot for forgetting about all of Laurie's friends who got murdered back in 1978, this film showed that they definitely weren't, and also revealed that the original Myers house ended up getting destroyed. Up next is The Cult of Thorn. The title of the memoir is also a subtle reference to The Cult of Thorn from one of the most criticized entries in the franchise, Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. The events of Halloween 6 also reveal that the whole reason why Michael Myers was evil and near immortal was because he had been inflicted with Thorn, an ancient druid curse that caused him to kill his entire bloodline on the night of Halloween. However, the curse ended up getting out of control, and Michael kills the leader of the cult as well as the doctors involved in it, in the process ensuring that there would be no one left to remove the curse. Allison's boss is an Easter egg as well. In the movie, Allison works at the doctor's office where she's waiting for her boss's response to her asking for a promotion. Unfortunately, she gets passed over in favor of a fellow nurse, Deb, who had been having an affair with Dr. Mathis, their boss. This is the first time we get to see Dr. Mathis. However, this isn't the first time we've heard of him. He was once mentioned earlier in Halloween Kills when the doctor and nurse couple, Vanessa and Marcus, her husband, complain about Marcus's boss acting inappropriately during a Christmas party. The film confirms just how much of a sleazeball Dr. Mathis really was. Moving on, there's Sandra's return. Halloween Kills boasts the biggest kill count in the entire Halloween franchise. However, Halloween Ends revealed that not everyone who was attacked by Michael back in 2018 actually died. One of them was Sandra Dickerson, one of Laurie's neighbors, who gets brutally stabbed by Myers in the neck with a tube light in one of the most disturbing scenes from the film. Turns out that she survived the ordeal, but was left with permanent scars on her back. But hey, it would have definitely been worse. Nick Castle also makes a cameo appearance on this list. The iconic slasher villain has been played played by two actors throughout the franchise's run, James Jude Courtney and Nick Castle, the latter being the original actor from the 1978 adaptation. In this film, Castle played another role as the weirdo who flashes Corey at the Halloween party by opening his trench coat and revealing fake human guts and condoms hanging from the coat. Looks like he's managed to play two menaces in the same franchise. Up next is Michael Myers going full Pennywise. Although Myers disappears without a trace at the end of Halloween Kills, the residents of Haddonfield would never forget the crimes he committed. Turns out he's been hiding in the sewers of Haddonfield for the last 4 years, and according to the homeless man Corey runs into, dragged people in there with him, leaving us to imagine just what he was doing with the bodies in there. It's a pretty similar setting to Stephen King's iconic clown monster Pennywise, as the creature used to live in the sewers of Derry, Maine, and would come out every 27 years in order to terrorize the town and grab a few snacks. Moving on, there's Corey's stalking. Corey embraces the evil that was inside him after meeting Myers in the sewers of Haddonfield, going as far as copying some of his trademark actions and moves, such as how he would stalk Laurie and Allison. When Laurie looks out the window in her studio, she sees Corey standing outside just like how the real Michael Myers had done back in 1978. However, this time, Laurie came outside and confronted Corey, who told her that he was there just to see Allison, a human personification of the term red flag. Michael Myers' trademark killing method also makes a return. After committing his first murder, Corey joins Michael Myers in his hunt to track down and kill Dr. Mathis and Deb. Once they reach the home, Corey targets Dr. Mathis, while Myers goes after Deb. Although the knife-wielding fiend killed people in many different ways, he seems to have a trademark move, impaling his victims to the wall, which he did to Linda's boyfriend, Bob, back in 1978, Dave in 2018, and now Deb. But that's not all. Corey also mirrored Myers in different ways, one of the most disturbing but interesting being how he rises off the ground. After he falls off the roof of the radio station, Corey gets up just like how Michael Myers does, lifting his head and torso slowly off the ground and staying in a sitting position before he gets up. The move may be a bit slow, but it does leave an impression. The penultimate entry on our list is Laurie herself. When Laurie first came face to face with Myers back in 1978, she used a knitting needle to stab Michael in the neck to buy her some time to get away from the boogeyman. However, just as she's about to use one of her knitting needles to stab Michael, he stops her, showing that her fight was going to be a lot harder than the one they had had 44 years before. Laurie also wore a similar outfit to the one that she did in the original film. In both her first and final battles with Myers, she wore dark pants with a blue dress. However, the big difference was that this time she managed to defeat him. And finally, we have the end credits. Both of the opening and closing credits of the film abandoned the traditional orange text color and instead chose blue ones. This was most likely a reference to the most criticized and forgotten movie in the franchise, Halloween 3: Season of the Witch. That film is also the only one that isn't part of the Michael Myers universe. Instead, it introduces the audience to a company that produces Halloween masks, Silver Shamrock. However, the company had a dark past linked to ancient pagan rituals. Season of the Witch is still considered to be a cult classic, however, and even some of the previous entries in the Halloween reboot timeline also had some references to it with the appearance of the Silver Shamrock masks. But this film chose to go for a more subtle nod. That's a wrap for this video. Are there any Easter eggs or references that we missed? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.